Hello and welcome. This is Christina Hills with the Website Creation Workshop, and welcome to this webinar, The Fundamentals of Online Marketing, the big overview picture of what it takes to put together an online business. And I had the idea to do this call because this week I am celebrating my 10-year anniversary. I have had an online business for the past 10 years, and that really blows me away that I have not worked for anybody else. I've only worked for myself and have made a living and had a wonderful entrepreneurial lifestyle for the past 10 years. Entrepreneurs always have their ups and downs, so don't think it's always easy street. But the fact that I can sit here at noon in my home office and conduct a webinar for over 800 people who've registered, that is pretty darn awesome. So I'm pretty thrilled about that. What I'm going to do today is give you the big picture overview of building an online business. And just to give you a little bit of background for those of you who have not been on a call with me before, I am an online business trainer. I specialize in teaching technology to people who are non-techie, to regular business folks, regular entrepreneurs who aren't techno geeks. I take technology and make it easy and simple for you to be able to understand and implement. I am all about helping people implement, because you can learn lots of theory. There's lots of marketers out there teaching theory, but if you don't have somebody there to hold your hand and walk you through the steps, the theory just falls flat on its face. And 10 years ago, on February 10th, is when I registered my first website, shoppingcartqueen.com, and you see the little picture down here at the bottom. That was my first product. I registered my domain name 10 years ago. So people have been asking me, Christina, how did you pick this 10-year mark? And I was like, well, you have to find a milestone that's significant to you. So to me, the registering my domain name and starting with that business idea, I'm going to register my domain name. That is my milestone. Now, before I was an online trainer, I worked in the Hollywood special effects industry. And if you were on here at the beginning of the call, I talked about good presentations is like good special effects. The difficulty looks easy and you don't even notice or feel it, and that's what it's like with the special effects industry. I loved working on Star Wars, working for George Lucas. It was a very creative business, but I wanted to have an entrepreneurial lifestyle. I wanted to be home with my daughter. There's my daughter Maggie, and be fully involved in her life. And in fact, my daughter's involved in theater, and you'll see some screenshots or some images later on in the presentation of her and I doing some theater type stuff together, our videos. I schedule my life around my daughters. So we get her schedule, and then I schedule out all of my teleseminars and webinars, and that is what you can do with an online business. You can call your own shots. And here's a screenshot of some of the creative projects that we have done. All right, so let's come back to you. All right, so this is you, and you have a good idea, right? You have an idea, you want to build your website. So you're like, okay, I've got an idea, something I think is going to make money. Let me build a website. And so let's start with your website in the center, right? Because that's where everything comes back to, is your website on the internet is your home, and all these different things that you do online are leading people to your website. So for example, we have social media, right? So social media, and let's put search engine optimization in there as well, right? That's getting people to come to your site because they find you other places. So they find you on social media, they find you in doing Google searches, they find you on links and other websites. Then you have in-person networking, right? So we're talking about sort of the sweeping overview of building an online business is you want to get people to your website, you network. You meet them in person, you hand out a business card, you go to networking events. The other thing you do to get people to your website is email marketing. And I'm going to talk more about email marketing. I'm going to spend some time on that in this presentation today. Email marketing, I'm guessing many of you are here today because of an email you got, either an email you got from me or an email you got from one of my partners, right? So that's leading people. See, the arrows are all pointing to the website. And I have different, not different versions of my site. I have different places on the internet. Some have different looks and feels, so you might wind up on a slightly different site, but essentially you're coming to my site. Then once people are at your site, then they're taking some kind of action and they're doing something. So you could be selling a product, so they could be buying one of your products. You could have a call to action for your website, have people come visit you in person. So either they meet you in person because you're a consultant, or they come to your yoga studio, or they come to whatever place of business you have. Maybe you're a real estate person and they come meet you. So they're taking an action after visiting your website. Or perhaps they're calling you. Well, and that call could either be a webinar like this one, or it could be they're calling you for a one-on-one consultation. So on the top, we have people coming to your site, and then from your site, they're taking an action and they're going somewhere else, right? So let's focus now on the website and come back to you. Focus on your brain, your idea, right, and your website. So what is your website? Your website is your home, right? Your home is your place on the internet, and your home has an address, right? www.whateveryourdomain.com. So it could be ChristinaHills.com, websitecreationworkshop.com, whatever you have picked as your domain name. So that you want to think of your website as your home, and your goal is to get people to your home, right? You could be chatting with them on LinkedIn or Facebook or these other places, and that's fine, but your goal is to get them to come to your home, your website, because that's the place on the internet that you have full control of. Now I'm going to go to my next slide and get just a slightly bit technical here, because I want you to understand some of this terminology, and that will help you as you build your online empire. Your domain name is connected to your web host, right? So your web host is your home, right? This is your web host, and your domain name is connected to that. So you go to like GoDaddy.com and you buy your domain name, and then you connect it to your hosting company. I use Bluehost. My link for them is bluehostnow.com, bluehostnow.com. But there's HostGator and there's DreamHost and all these different hosting companies. So that doesn't really matter. What's important to know is a little buzzword, DNS, domain name servers. That is what connects your domain name to your hosting company. So that's all it does, is it points it so that you so that people can find you, right? And at any point, if you want to change your hosting, you can change and go to a different hosting company, and then you go back to your GoDaddy or wherever you register it, and you point it to the other hosting company. So that's my little web hosting lesson, right? And then you wind up with your site. So websitecreationworkshop.com, that is my domain name. That is the label, the sign that's saying that the sign that hangs on my house, and this is my house, right? websitecreationworkshop.com. Okay, so we got that about what a website is. Now let's talk about the browser. I'm teaching this browser concept because I realized as I was been teaching my courses on website building with WordPress, many people didn't understand the concept of the browser. So I'm going to explain that now. Your browser lets you connect your computer to the internet. So whatever kind of device you are on, it's the browser that's the window to your site, that people can see your site. And people view your site in multiple browsers. So you need to be aware of this, and you need to kind of check your site in different browsers. So let me go through these different browsers. So there is Firefox. So I'm viewing my site in Firefox. Browsers are free. You can download them. Now, just a little aside, if you're on a PC and you do nothing, you're viewing things in Internet Explorer. And if you're on a Mac and you do nothing, you're viewing things in Safari. But what many people do is they download the other browsers, Chrome and Firefox, either onto their PC or their Mac. All right, so here's Firefox. Here's my site in Internet Explorer. Here's my site in Safari and my site in Chrome. So you want to get into the habit of looking at your site in different browsers. Now, another reason to look at your site in different browsers is when you're working on your site, you're seeing an admin view of it, and you always want to go look at it in another browser so you can see it as a visitor would see it. All right, and as I mentioned before, of course, I teach WordPress, and the best way to build your website is in WordPress. And but what is WordPress? Right? Maybe not everybody knows what WordPress is. So I'm going to give you an overview of WordPress without getting too technical. And even if you have WordPress or have been working in WordPress, I'm hoping this will kind of make it all sort of come together in a big picture for you. All right, so here's the overview, and I'm going to step through each one of these. WordPress is the software, and it's made up of 4 parts: your pages and posts, your website theme, your theme design, your plugins, and your uploaded media. And now I'm going to step through each one individually. All right, so WordPress is the software. That's the thing that runs your site. And we talk about it because we're business owners, but when people visit your site, they don't even think or know they're on a WordPress site, right? This is the engine. It's like lifting up your car and looking in at the engine. Most people don't do that unless they're fixing something with their car. Most people just look at their car and drive their car. All right, so at the core of your site are your pages and posts, this little file cabinet here, your pages and posts. So what are your pages and posts? Well, they're your articles, they're your words. So this is a blog post I did on my top 10 favorite Google tools. And then up here in my navigation are links to different pages. So that is my content, pages and posts. And they look like the same thing to the end user. This is just the blog part is the post, and pages is just a regular page. So pages and posts. And again, I'll be answering questions at the end of the call. Theme. What is a theme? So your theme is the design. So I'm pointed here to, this is my blog, websitecreationworkshop.com/blog. So I've got a purple navigation bar, and I've got a sidebar here, and then I've got a header graphic at the top. So this is my theme. And the theme I use, if you want to write this down, is theprosetheme.com. 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 Excuse me. All right, so right before the call, I switched themes so I could take this screenshot. This is the 2010 theme. All right, so same content, different design. All right, so in the 2010 theme, I've got this picture header graphic of a guy walking down a country road. My navigation is black. My sidebars are slightly different. It's sort of essentially the same kind of layout, but I don't have that header graphic, so it's slightly different. Same content, different design. And now here's the 2013 theme, and this one doesn't have a sidebar. It grabs my image and puts it up at the top, and then here's my top menu. So that is the second component of WordPress, right? There were the pages and posts, your content, and your theme design. That's the overall look and feel. Then there are plugins. So what are plugins? Plugins are the extra bit of software to make your site run custom to you. So I've got a little example here. On the side, you see I have a floating social media bar. So, you know, here I'm in my office, I'm waving my hands and you can't see anything, so I have to wave the cursor. And I know Kathy's laughing at me. She's imagining me waving my hands like people can see. So anyhow, here is this floating social media sidebar that I've added because I want when people come to my site to click to tweet, to like it, to share it, etc. This is not built into WordPress, but it's easy enough to add with plugins. So that's what plugins do. Plugins do other things like back up your site. My favorite for that is thebackupplugin.com, thebackupplugin.com. That is Backup Buddy. Makes it super easy to back up your site. And there's other plugins as well. So plugins can do, if you've been on my list for a while, you saw wintertime, I had snow falling on my site, so plugins can turbo boost your site, make it run faster. It can do back-end stuff. It can do fun, jazzy things like have snow fall on your site. All right, so that is the plugin component. And then the last component is media. So media is pictures, PDFs, videos, audios. And so here, again, the screenshot and the media here is these images, right? So I've just circled the images on my site. So WordPress keeps these things in different places. And so that kind of gives you a little bit of an overview of what WordPress is. All right, so how do you get your stuff into WordPress? So we're just spending a little bit of time on WordPress, and we're going to come back to that bigger picture. You get things into WordPress by uploading and downloading, okay? And I've got a screenshot. So from the internet, you download things to your computer. Like if you buy an image, you would download it. Or if you buy a premium WordPress theme, right? A premium WordPress theme is just a theme that you pay for instead of getting one of the free themes. So you would get that in a zip file and you would download it to your computer. So once you have something downloaded to your computer, you then need to upload it, right? And this is the cloud in the sky, the little internet in the sky. So you would upload your theme into your WordPress site, and you would upload those images from your computer. Now, this might seem super basic, but if you have this visual of your computer is down on the ground and your website's up in the sky, it just makes it a lot easier to keep track of what you're doing. and know, okay, now I'm downloading and now I'm uploading, and just know what it is that you're doing. Because, all this internet stuff is very ephemeral. You can't quite touch it. You can't like pick it up in a store. So you have to conceptualize and visualize it. And that's the whole point of this call today, is to be able to conceptualize how everything fits together. All right, so how do we get our stuff into our WordPress site? Well, we log on the internet. So log in on the internet, log in, not log on. I can never remember if it's log in or log on, and if anybody knows for sure, just type it in the box and let me know. You log in on the internet, so that means you can be on any computer. You can be on any computer or laptop or tablet to get to your WordPress site. And then and I'm not going to go deep into this, I just want to give you kind of a little bit of an overview. Then you edit your web pages online, and then you view your website online. So it is independent. Using WordPress, you are independent from whatever computer you are on, which is great. Because if your computer breaks or gets stolen at the airport or whatever, you're at someone else's house, you can manage your site. So using WordPress makes your life very fluid and flexible. But let's come back and talk a little bit more about the online infrastructure. So what I just did was I took you through, let me just back up. I took you through these different components of WordPress. Now I want to come back to my big picture about the infrastructure, right? So far we've got the domain name registered, we've got our hosting, we've built our WordPress site, right? We're all staying conceptual. I want to get to this part over here, which is the super important part, which is the email marketing part and the shopping cart part, because there's a bunch of things that have to fit together to make that all work. So let's first talk about the email list. Now you'll see on this email list, I've got two arrows. I've got an arrow from the website going this way, and then I've got an arrow from the email coming back to your site. So what does that mean? Well, that means on your website, right, you're going to have some kind of opt-in box. So when people come to your site, they're going to opt in to get on your email list, right? So now you have people on your email list like you, who are probably on my email list, and you got an email from me that something was going to happen, that I was going to do this free webinar, and you followed it back to come back to my site, right? Maybe you opted in again because you're opting in specifically for this webinar. So your website, you have people take an action to get on the email list, but now they're off doing their own thing, kind of forgotten about you, and oh, here's an email from Christina Hills. Hey, something's happening. Okay, cool. I'm going to come back to her site and check it out. So that's why I have the two arrows there. Okay, let's go in now and talk about building an email list. And this is my diagram of a free autoresponder opt-in process, and I'm going to review this now. People come to your website and they see an opt-in box with an opt-in offer, right? So I have an opt-in offer of my PDF and video for designing your WordPress site. And then today I had the opt-in offer to come to this live call. So you see the opt-in box, you enter your name and email, and you click Submit. When you click Submit, the browser takes you to an opt-in thank you page. So the person clicks, and now they're on a thank you page. At the same time, their information goes into either your shopping cart account database or your email marketing account database, whatever email marketing system you have. And some people have a system where the two are one, and some people have separate. That part doesn't really matter, but this is a separate service, hosted service. I happen to use Aweber, and you can find that at christinahills.aweber.com. And then the email system looks up, okay, what messages are they supposed to get, and sends out either one or a series of email messages. So you probably got a confirmation email when you opted in for this, and you probably also got some of my autoresponders, and then obviously you got one from me today this morning reminding you about this call. And then because I use GoToWebinar and they have their own system, you got an email from GoToWebinar. And sometimes people say, oh gosh, Christina, you're sending too many emails. Well, you can easily delete an email, and it's better than having missed it. So that is the basic visual overview of what the email marketing component is like. So they come to your site, get to a thank you page, you get on an email list, and the emails send them back. So the emails come to the person, and then they're coming back to your site. So here's an example opt-in page. So this is my standard opt-in offer. I have a free video and PDF, which is a sample lesson on your website design, layout, and sidebars. And you probably, if you're new to me, you probably got that as a separate email. I also have the same thing here on my blog on the sidebar. So you can have the same opt-in offer goodie, we call it Goodie, you know, the thing that are going to engage people to get to know you, and you can put it in different places. So just remember that doesn't have to be in one place. So they opt in, and here is my thank you page, and I just wanted to squeeze it down, and here's the bottom of the thank you page where I give the PDF that people can view or print out, and there's sort of a screenshot of my PDF. All right, so what is your opt-in goodie, right? What format? I want you to think about this. What format would your opt-in goodie be? And it can come in different forms. It could be a poll. It could be a video, right? You could have a mind map or diagram. You could give someone music or recorded teleseminar or recorded, maybe you're an author and you might record a chapter of your book and give that as in like an audio book. Checklists, PDFs, I like PDFs a lot. Resources, right? So depending upon what business you're in, resources might be very useful and valuable. Or you could have a webinar like this one. So the offer was to come to this live webinar. Or you could have tools. Maybe you have software or tools or apps for folks. So that is the email marketing piece. And I want to know if I'm going too fast or too slow. I'm just going to pause for a second because I want to see, am I going too fast or too slow or just right? So if you could just type in the box. I'm just taking a little break here. I'm going to take a sip and type in the little box. Am I moving too fast, too slow, or just right?
Well, according to everybody here, it says just fine, perfect, everything else. So not too fast and not
okay.
Just right is the word.
Right. Okay. And for those of you who are experienced marketers with an online business, it may be too slow. And But I'm hoping for most of the people it's just right. I want to take these concepts and make them less ephemeral, more tangible. Okay, let me move on. Let's talk about selling your products or services from your website. So coming back to my diagram, I'd like to come back to this diagram, we're going to move to this selling your products or services. And let's talk about how a product is sold online. Here's my diagram. Customer, right, so we're not talking about a phone sale. We're talking about somebody clicks and they're buying online. They come to your website, they see a product for sale, and I've got two examples I'm going to show. They click to buy and they get to the shopping cart page. Now, typically, when you build an online business, this shopping cart page is not on your website. It's actually on a different website. But if you integrate it well together, people will not feel like they're in a different place. So behind the scenes, they're in a different place. So if you use a shopping cart system or PayPal, they're going to click to a different place. Now, one of the reasons why I'm not crazy about PayPal as a shopping cart system is they're like, oh, I'm not on your site now, I'm on PayPal. You don't really want them to think about that. You want them to think about the products they're buying. So after they enter their name and email, they get to a post-purchase thank you page. So that's kind of like the opt-in thank you page. So thank you page is in quotes because it's the page a customer lands on after they've taken an action. So I'm going to repeat that again in case you want to write it down. The thank you page is the page the customer lands on or the person lands on after they've taken an action. So in this instance, the action is paying you, pulling out their credit card, paying you, or opting in is the other thank you page that I talked about a moment ago. Know that on the thank you page, you have a highly attentive person. So when we're on the internet, right, we're cruising around, we're looking at stuff, we're like on Facebook and reading our email and clicking on things. We're not always paying attention that much. But when a person pays you, they're really paying attention. They've just pulled out their wallet. They've made a commitment to themselves and you. So you want to make a good use of this thank you page. Don't just say thank you, we'll ship you your goods. I mean, really think about what can I do with this real estate of a thank you page. Now, my programs, because I am an online trainer, my thank you pages are generally the members area because I want people to get started and take action and start learning. All right, still on this diagram. At the same time, so they get to the thank you page. So at the same time, number 4, right, the money goes into your merchant account. So they've just paid you, and it goes into your merchant account by way of a gateway. And I'm not going to go into the details about a gateway. So it can be the same thing. So the money goes into your merchant account. Your merchant account is like a funny bank account, or it may go into PayPal. Right, so the money sweeps in one direction, and then the customer's information goes into the shopping cart account database. And then that shopping cart account database looks up what should I send this person who just bought this product, and it sends them an email receipt and any follow-up autoresponders. So PayPal by itself doesn't trigger that. You'd need to kind of hook it together. So this is sort of the infrastructure architecture of selling online. All right, so here's an example. Here's a sales letter page. Sales letter page. So what is a sales letter? A sales letter, in case you don't know, is a website that has no navigation, no sidebars, no top navigation. It's a place to focus people on the product you're selling. And sometimes there's a video at the top, and sometimes there's not. So a sales page can be short or it can be long. This one is long, and then you scroll to the bottom and there's a payment button. From the payment button, you get to the online order form. And then from the order form, my thank you page is my members area. So that gets people into my members area for the training. Now I have a student success story from Lisa Michaels, one of my first students who took the website creation workshop years ago when I first started it. She has a program, Activate Your Inner Goddess Creation Power. And so here's her site. She built with WordPress, and there's a button to buy, and there's another page in between. I didn't take a screenshot of that. And then here we are on her shopping cart page. And then you click to get to the checkout. So notice how nicely integrated this is, where we see her picture and we see her logo at the top, and that is reflected here in her shopping cart system. So although there is, although we are on a different site now, from here to here, technically we're on a different site, you feel like you're in the same place. And I don't have a picture of her thank you page. So let's talk about products, right? So, my product is training. Lisa, she has books and she also does online courses. I want you to think about what product or program, what format your product or program could come in. So I'm going to leave this up for a few minutes so you can write all this down. And I'm going to talk about each of these. When you're building an online business, right, an automated online business, you're either selling products or programs, and however whatever word works for you is what you can use. Now, there's two aspects of your product. There's like, what are people going to learn, right? Like with my program, I teach you how to build a website with WordPress. So that's what you're going to learn. And then what format does that happen in? So, excuse me, I'm losing my voice a little bit. These are the different formats: videos, PDFs, MP3 audios, checklists, digital downloads, community forums. You might run a community forum and charge access for that membership, that club. Live webinars or teleseminars, those are my favorites. Resources, your Rolodex. Don't underestimate the value of your Rolodex. You've been in business for a long time, and you've developed over the years, whatever your expertise is, you've got a Rolodex of resources. That has value. Mind maps, and I don't have a mind map to show you, so if you don't know what that is, just don't worry about it. Or software and tools. And I'm realizing one thing I left off here are phone consultations, right? Phone or in-person consultations, right? That is, you could be selling yourself as a consultant, and maybe you do in-person consultations or phone or a combination. So that would be the format for what you're selling online. And so now I want to take you through, right, I've got a list now of what you need to sell directly online. So these are the different components, and you can write these down. So what do you need? You need a website. And, some people say, well, I could do it without a website, but come on, you'll look kind of lame. I hate to say that, but you need a website. The website shows, here's what a website shows. It shows you're committed. You're committed to yourself, your expertise, and your craft. That's why you need a website. And there's many other reasons which I won't get into, right? So what do you need to sell online? You need a product or program, right? So you need a website, you need your product or your program, you need some kind of shopping cart system, right, that can take the payments. Now, some people ask me, well, my hosting company says I need a secure certificate, and that's just building it by hand. It's so much easier to get a shopping cart system. And the one I use is the Marketer's Choice, also known as One Shopping Cart. And if you want to check it out, you can go to shoppingcartqueen.com/signup. shoppingcartqueen.com/signup. Okay, so shopping cart system, you need a payment processor, right? So the shopping cart system gives you the ability to take credit cards, but it doesn't actually take the money in. It sends it off to the payment processor, so your merchant account or your PayPal. Then you need an email system. Like don't be emailing people from Outlook, thank you, your order is here. You need to have an email system. And then if you sell physical products, a fulfillment house is a good thing to have, right? So what is a fulfillment house? A fulfillment house is they are a company that will ship out the goods for you. And I think I pay like $3 or something for them to handle that. In the old days, my husband and I, and this is when my daughter was a little toddler, we'd sit around the living room and we would pack up the packages for the sales and go to the post office and ship them out. And that was so much labor, and it is so not worth it. It's totally worth paying the $3 to have them fulfill. Right, but you really only need that if you're sending a physical product. And if you're selling digital products, you need a method to deliver those digital products. So if you've got maybe a membership site or WordPress, or maybe your digital product is a PDF or videos or audio download, or maybe it's just a thank you page with the phone number and the time to call you for the consultation. So whatever is not physical is digital. Now let's talk about getting people to visit your site. So we're home stretch, we're almost done. Traffic. So that is the term traffic. So traffic are people, and it's kind of a unfriendly term. Because, do you have traffic? Yeah, I have lots of traffic. Where's your traffic source? Traffic, it's humans. It's humans coming to your site. So, and I don't have a slide for this, but it's a comment I'm going to make. When you hear people talk about SEO, search engine optimization, don't forget that there are humans behind those search engine clicks, right? It's not just a robot. So, traffic to your site comes from social media, comes from search engines, and they would sort of go here. Comes from people who you meet visiting your site. I mean, now more and more you see people with bumper stickers and stickers on their car, right? Billboards with websites, or email. And focusing on just the social media, here I've got a little bit bigger picture of social media. So I've had many people say to me, oh, Christina, like, I don't want a Pinterest account, or I don't want a Twitter account, or I don't want a LinkedIn account. And my answer is, just go sign up for the account. You don't have to do it all now. You don't have to do it all at once, right? We have the feeling on the internet that we have to have everything done at once, and then we get overwhelmed and we get stuck and we do nothing. And that's not true. You're human, you're a person, you just got to take one step at a time. But I've seen people, they're building their site and they wait and wait and wait, and they don't open a Pinterest account or a Twitter account or these other accounts, and then they go to open them and the name they want is taken. So anyhow, get these. You know, in fact, I've got all of these. Some I'm more active on than others. And you can get an account and sort of play with it. Like, I have very few people following me on Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram. I don't have a lot. I don't talk about it. I think I'm Instagram.com/Christina Hills. But I have accounts on all of these. Some I'm more active than others. But my purpose for all of these is to lead people to my site and also to build relationships, right? So you're using social media, you're using email marketing, you're going to live events, you're building relationships. Have people get to know you so that they come to your site and they do business with you. So what I love about an online business is it allows you to make money while you're playing. If you followed me on Facebook, you know we're big Disney fans and we love to take our daughter to Disneyland. Having an online business has given me more time to spend with my daughter, more time with my family. And here's another thing, is more time to donate to nonprofits. So this is my daughter's theater company. She's big into theater. So not only do we donate money, but more importantly is we donate our time. And having an online business lets you do that. And also, what we love is other creative projects. So by having my own online business, we have time for creative projects. And this is our little Web Riding Hood video series that we did. That's my husband dressed up as the big bad wolf. That's my daughter and a friend helping out. And here they are mugging for the camera. Here's a shot of us doing Alice in Wonderland. And then my daughter and I back. I'm the mother in Little Red Riding Hood. And that is the end of my presentation, and I'm going to be ready in a second to take questions. So I did that right under the hour. I teach a course called the Website Creation Workshop, and registration is going to start in a few weeks, about 2 or 3 weeks from now. We'll start registering folks for my coaching program where I teach you WordPress. We don't have the details yet. They're not yet available. You'll just have to watch your email for that. But I'm hoping by today's call, giving you that big picture overview, you'll have a better idea of how all of this fits together.